chat is already lit tonight.
Joe Strummer prepared for this. ABCs of a pin
What, Brian? Wook Plus Live. Yo, welcome back to Wook Plus. I am Weekend Wook, joined by T. You guys are out of order, so I was like, by Kev, no, T and Kev the Great went. I am slightly sleep deprived. I'm not going to say emotional, but it's been a bit of a roller coaster. We have ups and downs. So this is going to be an interesting night. We don't actually have a hard set list, but we do have some points to guide us if we get a little bit lost. Yeah, for sure.
Can I send a shout out to the guy who commented that the AI voice got the live wrong?
Oh, what on the Wook Plus Live?
Yes. Like, your AI voice didn't even get it right. And I was like, well, that was Chad, and that was the joke.
That was a joke that was supposed to last for like, I don't remember. I think it was originally like the first show. And then it was going to be like, oh, we'll do it for like the first season. But then we just kind of like stuck with it. And now, like, whatever, 4 years later, 5 years later, it's like, fucking let's keep it. It really encompasses the stupidity that is Wook, like in the most like endearing, like thoughtful way, how stupid it is.
It'll be in when I turn 50. What's next year?
Andy, you're just figuring out now. Yes, I feel like she's seen a lot of these shows to only be figuring out now that it live. Like, we literally say that at the top of every show.
For 5 years, 4 years. That was the whole joke. That was one of the funniest.
Liv started right around your birthday. No, it was my birthday, because the second episode, you guys paid Eddie Spaghetti to do the cold open.
Yeah.
So that was when I turned 50. So that was in 21. Is when the second is. So the first episode was in early February 21.
That's when I moved here too. And if you go back and watch,
this
wasn't built yet. And every episode, I added a wall, I added a ceiling, I added, I painted.
Yep.
That was crazy.
One of the funniest things we did though was that meeting when we were deciding on the name, and we were like, live, but let's pronounce it live, and then everyone will think it's like. That's
we never said it. We kept tweeting Wook Plus Live. Everybody thought it was going to be live.
We did a whole marketing campaign without any ever saying it. Everybody thought it was live, and we built it up and up and up for like 3 weeks, and then we had the vocals, right? Chad singing it was the punchline,
right? Wook Plus Live.
Yeah.
So much work for the punchline.
It was but
that's why we kept it for so long. And then I remember I had the dumber joke to like double down on it like 2 years later. I was like, we're going to rebrand as Wook Plus Live, but we're not going to say it out loud again. So I did this whole tweet where it's like, Wook Plus Live is now Wook Plus Live. And everybody's like, I don't understand. And I was like, what do you mean? It's right there. It's Wook Plus Live. And then the next week we were like, oh, well, due to confusion, we've decided to rebrand Live back to Live.
To get out of it.
Oh my God. Stupidity. Well, speaking of stupidity, I wanted to ask you guys what you're doing with to cope, because I think there's value. We don't need to go into any crazy. I don't know. I'm not nixing or putting anything off limits. I don't want to be like, oh, let's not talk about that. Like, fuck it. If you want to talk about, but I'm more interested in how people like what they're like found themselves doing today.
I feel bad
like
for
get through the day.
I feel really bad for my youngest. She voted for the first time this year. She was very invested at the end, like middle of the afternoon. She came down. When did the numbers start coming in? She was so psyched for it. She got crushed. So today I was like, I'm going to make soup. I was like, it's good for me. It's the zen of chopping everything and building it and making a soup. And I was going to make black bean soup. And she was like, can you make chicken noodle soup? And I was like, I will schlep my ass up to the store and buy some thighs and make some chicken noodle soup. So I spent the day chopping vegetables and cooking chicken and making her soup that she really likes. She's had 3 bowls. So
fuck yeah, that's good. I've stumbled upon a solution for me personally that I didn't even think of, but I started watching old rom-coms that my wife and I watched when we were dating. So this was probably like
names.
Like Meg Ryan. We had this kick in like 06, 07.
Oh, that's why you tweeted the picture of Meg Ryan earlier.
Right, like when Harry Met Sally. And so like I was watching it, but I was just doing it because it was like a stupid movie. It's pre-Trump, like even pre like Apprentice, right? So like it just put me into a headspace where I could like literally escape this whole nonsense and noise entirely.
You remember when we did the game show and we did the scenes from the movies and Fam got all pissed because he's like, I don't watch movies. I don't know any of these.
We did terrible. Yes.
And it was all rom-coms.
Movies at all. Yeah. What's up? I want to say a shout out to Serious Sean out there. Sean, I was getting in my closet before the show trying to find a sweatshirt to put on, and I almost wore the Lost sweatshirt you gave me, but I chose this one because it was a little bit softer, and I was like, oh, I want to be like in a blanket tonight. But I almost wore it. It's so good to see you, man. Or it's good to see you in the chat. It's funny. I almost wore that. It would have been great. But thanks again for that. I love it. It's one of my favorite sweatshirts now.
Mike, I tried to do some work today, but I couldn't sleep last night, and like not even for like an hour. Like I just got through, and so I was I had an inability to focus enough to do any real work. So I kind of like answered a couple emails and like fake. You know what I mean? Like
to work.
Yeah, I pretended to work. I didn't actually get any. I hope no one from my office is watching right now, but like I didn't actually get any work done. But I certainly pretended to work. Although I had one client.
3 in the morning, my kid's yelling at the TV upstairs. 3 in the morning.
Really?
I'm like, baby, I'll go to bed. I was like,
that was you. That was you fucking private messaging me. But it was like 10. I was like not.
I was like it's over. It's over at 8:30. I was like, it's
right.
over.
It was like
you're like
1% of the polls are, and it kept like freaking the fuck out. He's like, look, it's over. We're done. At that point, I was just like, get this energy out of here, motherfucker. And then like 3 hours later, I was like, yeah.
I couldn't even watch last night. I didn't even want to watch any of it. I had the hockey game on, Avs game on one channel, and then I was playing Warzone on the other channel.
I watched Anonymous
shooting people.
Anonymous on Twitter did a whole live thing. I watched that.
Yeah, it was great. I wish. I was thinking about loading up one of the old games where, like, you know, it's like against Nazis, because I was like, everyone always loves killing Nazis. I was like, I kind of feel like shooting some Nazis.
Watch today, Winter Soldier. Watch the first cap.
You know, it's funny you say that, because I told Alex today, I was like, you know what? I feel like it's almost time to start another Marvel rewatch in order of the movies, because I was like, I just need some mindless entertainment and just be like.
Do you include the original Hawks with Norton?
Yeah, we did last time. We did. Yeah,
I have to like translate Kev in my mind, because like he cut you off, but then he also has like a little accent. So he's like the Hawks. I was like, Hawkeye. Like
that's what I thought too. I thought he said the Hawks. Did you watch the original Hawks?
He did say the Hawks, but he meant the Hawks.
Hulk, because then he said with Norton. And I was like, oh, I know what he's saying.
Yeah. I'm also doing this thing, which I'm not gonna recommend to others, but like for where I'm at personally, is like and I'm not patting myself on the back, but like I felt for like the last 2 months that I was like in the trenches fighting the fight, like really. And so for me now, I'm like just trusting. I know there's still work to do, and like this is going to be a never-ending battle, but I'm giving myself permission to not have to know what's going on, not read the headlines, not get all the takes and the articles. I'm just focusing on healing. Kev, I know you've had a drink. Just let me talk for a minute, and then you could add your
No,
part,
because
okay?
I was going to tell you something, but you don't want to hear it, so I'm not going to tell you.
My point is that I don't have to be the one always putting shit out there and doing the fight. I don't even need to pay attention for a little bit, right? I could just focus on my family, shut it all out, and then in a month or two, I'll show up and be like, "Hey, what's going on?" You know,
Comedies.
We
I
should.
agree.
Dude,
If
we
you set
should
that, if you set that up, Lazy Lightning, I'll be over there and watch it with you tonight.
we should
Totally
have
should.
group
Movie nights?
watches.
Movie
You know,
night?
like group streams on the Discord.
You can you can join the Discord if you look down in the show notes. There is a link, and you can join the Discord, and
Yeah,
that's
we
where
were
all the
talking
fun's
about
going to be.
We should do movie nights, kind of like Wook Club. How we do albums, we could do movie nights too. Every
Song
once a
remains the
month or
same.
something.
And you can, like, if you're constipated, you can
Hey,
probably
Andy.
take a dump during Moby Dick during the drum solo.
All right, my brain is everywhere, so give me one second. Discord, you just plugged it, but I did like what you said, Kev, so I'll give you the credit, but I'm gonna explain it. We want to have this community thing going. I'm off X now. It's just I had to get away from there, and like we don't really have like a home base, so we're gonna try to refocus like this community for like a not like a safe space, but just like a place where we don't have to get crazy political or get crazy into like the bullshit and the hot takes, and just maintain the community. So if you haven't joined the
Fun
Discord,
stories.
yeah, fun stories, talk about fish, the dead, whatever's going on in your life. Like
I was telling the story earlier of when I got blocked by David Crosby because he was bitching about Spotify not paying any money and he had no money to buy a boat. And I replied, I said, "You smoked enough Ready Rock to buy 3 boats," and he blocked me.
This isn't the first
What-
time you've told that story, though.
it's not
Kat.
at all. It's not even
I mean, I like how you're like,
it's
I'm
not-
telling the story about David Crosby. Yes, the one we've heard 10
Yes,
times.
we
We
know
all
that
know
story.
it.
I'm not being full committal, Andy, about being off Twitter like forever. But at this moment, I have zero interest in coming back. I have no itch. I haven't thought about it since I left. It just, yeah. The whole oligarch fucking taking over thing is
I got
like
the itch. It feels like a
Yeah.
police state. I'm very afraid to say anything. Whereas in 2020, I would say anything and wasn't afraid of being banned or
oh
something.
yeah. I mean, it's literally tied to the whole.
Right.
And also,
Now,
I made a lot of bold
Blue Sky is that
statements.
place. Blue Sky is that place you can be like, fuck
Kevin's on
whoever.
fire.
I know we got to bring the penalty box back. It's like what we can't even talk.
No, you can't.
Jesus Christ, my man.
But yes, what you should do, Kev, is download all of your stuff and then change your account so it's not you anymore. So when Elon comes with the Black Bag Society and reads your tweets, you're not going down with everyone else.
I wasn't
because
even
of
going that tinfoil hat. I was worried. Honestly, the very first reason I first shut it off was I made a lot of bold statements, and I was like, I don't want assholes like MAGA people quote tweeting me, being like putting my words because like I was being pretty dickish. Like I admittedly in the weeks leading up to the election, like I was calling people out for being fucking tools, and like they would have had the right to like basically make me eat my words, and I was like, nah, fuck that. I'm out. But now that I'm out, it's actually kind of just nice to be out.
And I'll say the one thing I was most disappointed about this election were kind of some of the, not even the main, but some of the down ballot things, especially in California. I was a little shocked at some of the things that didn't pass or did pass, and the growth of the other, like the middle of our state that's very Republican. I mean,
there are
California's always
more
been
Republicans.
it's always been half red, half, and the Dems have owned it for a while because of the coastal sides and stuff. But I was very surprised to see how much the numbers actually increased on their side. And I feel like they're just, as far as like candidates go and all of that thing, we were left a little bit short. I think hopefully next time there'll be a candidate like this one that we can all rally around and vote for.
I love live music. And also, like you, I hate fees almost as much as I hate scalpers. So I'm making a promise to you today. If elected, I will make sure Ticketmaster has to refund all fees charged to you and me as consumers since they started. And I will make sure scalpers are persecuted to the fullest extent of the law. I've been working outside the system for 30 plus years, and I know what needs to be done to these lowlifes at Ticketmaster, Axios, and StubHub. So this year, vote for me, Kevin Hogan for Congress. Man of the people.
Paid for by Wooks for Kevin Hogan for Congress.
Dude, that cop was such a gentle caress. That was so uncomfortable.
So uncomfortable. I forgot about that. Wherever
Yeah,
we got that
like, yeah,
from, he's like just calming the guy, and the guy says something. He's like, no, bend over.
Yeah, see, to your point on the more serious side of it too, there's a couple of small takeaways I had on it. The GOP and like MAGA are way better at resistance and being the foil than they are at governing, right? Like when they are fear mongering and like, oh, the man is fucking up, we'll make it good. They're way more successful than when they're in charge, because then they're like fucking everything up. And that's the difference. That's the biggest difference between this one and 2020. They didn't have to prove anything. They just had to point the finger and be like, whatever. And then
But
the
when
other
they
thing
enact
is,
Sharia law, they're going to be in charge.
no, we're not doing that shit right now.
But it is interesting, Tim, to that point, because I mean, of all times to fearmonger, and I mean, yes, there are obviously issues and problems, but overall, the country's in pretty good shape. The economy's booming.
Oh
Yes,
my
your grocery
God.
I know he's
prices are up.
inheriting another fucking great. He inherited the Obama economy, and now he's inheriting this.
Oh,
economy.
dude, that tariff is going to tank the country.
I know, but he's
within
going to
6
get all the
months.
credit. He's already getting the credit. I fucking saw something today that was like the markets are soaring because Trump got elected and everything. I was like,
fuck you. It was 1900 when he left office. It's 4600 yesterday.
I mean, the only thing that soared because of him so far is the Bitcoin and all the fucking
I don't care because I'm broke.
crypto bros, but that's, we'll see. So anyway,
I'm just reminding myself that I don't even need to pay attention to the narrative. That's my point.
right?
Like my instinct over the last 6 months
Right.
or whatever was like to know the narrative, to know everybody's talking points, and to know the counterpoints. I don't give a fuck, man.
And I
You
think
want to
Tim,
credit Trump. I don't give a fuck. I'm
and
saying
Tim, no, but I think that's the biggest change since 2016 too, is like from 2016 to 2020, we were so in shock by the things he was doing, and how can we like get him for fucking up, and like, oh my God, he's doing this time around. It's just like, go ahead, burn it all to the ground. Y'all deserve it. Like watch it go. Like
anarchy, baby, anarchy.
Anarchy.
So
Punk rock, Kev.
Did either of you guys get to listen to this new CSNY release on Neil Young's label?
Yep, I listened to it today actually, because I needed
Very
something.
nice.
I needed something like calm and chill while I was doing some other stuff, and like it was good. It's nice to hear. I mean, a few things. Like one, it's really a really good recording from '69, right? Like, I mean, it's impressive how good that sounds. Like incredible, especially because
it had to be multi-track. It had to be multi-track.
Oh yeah, but it's especially because it's just, especially that first set is acoustic and vocals, and so like the harmonies. I mean, it really comes through. It sounds really crisp in there for '69.
First
like
couple
I'm like,
songs without Neil Young are probably the best thing. The three of them together were better acoustic than they were with Neil Young.
When you get to the electric set, some of like those were really good, and that Down by the River is fucking smoking. It's got the nice little jam in it. They sound really good.
They do the Blackbird, the Buffalo Springfield song that they call Revisited, because I guess it isn't Buffalo Springfield now, it's them.
Yep. No, it was really good. I was really impressed. I was like, again, like I wanted to listen to something, like it was just the perfect thing to put on today and have on. And it sounded, I was blown away when it started. I was like, holy shit, like this sounds really, really good. Like really,
I'm gonna say
really
yes,
good.
Mike.
Yeah, the electric, I think Neil Young really helps them with the electric because he provides tension to Stephen Stills. With the acoustic, it sounds like they're trying to add another voice in, and sometimes he's just playing the guitar. And
did you put this out in the thread? I missed this.
We'll put a link. We'll put a link in it down below.
I'm sorry.
In the thing.
You guys got to be my filter, because now that I'm not in like the socials anymore, I don't. You're like, did you guys see it? I'm like, I didn't see anything.
You put it? I thought you put it in our Telegram though, Kev. Didn't you put it in there, or did you just mention it? I thought you put it in there. I linked it from there. I thought, but yeah, we'll put it in.
I put it in the Discord. is where I was
all right.
talking
Yeah,
about.
Okay,
I gotta
that's what it
remember
was.
to
It
go
was
to the
somewhere because I
Discord
know
more.
I saw it. But
We're trying
again,
to get it together. We're trying to get it together.
Remind me
people.
to go to the Discord. I want to go to the Discord. I just forget. I'm gonna
It's
make
really,
a channel for my Meg Ryan fanboying where we just talk about Meg Ryan
movies. We need just a movie channel in the Discord. Like make a movie channel, a movie tab.
What did you think of Meg Ryan with what's his face in the Albert Einstein movie?
I love that movie. Actually, I
love that
just rated
movie.
that on my letterbox the other day. That was with Tim Robbins, right?
Tim
Yeah.
Robbins, yes, that's
Yes.
him. Great
It's
actor,
really-
great movies. He does
Great movie. It's a great movie. And it was like in the 90s. So it's got that 90s sort of easy rom-com
Is that, like,
vibe to it.
Serendipitous or something.
Yeah,
or-
it's very like, yeah, it's very fun, very easy to watch. Yeah, I like that one. That's a great one. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I pretty much love all of her movies. You know what else we did too besides Meg Ryan movies? We started Christmas today officially. Oh, it's called IQ. We started
IQ.
Christmas today. I watched 3 fucking Christmas movies today. I didn't get a lot of work done
But you
again.
skipped the Peanuts Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
So
because
it's
we're
all
going.
invalid.
No,
It's all
we are.
invalid.
No, listen. We already have a tradition in our house. On Thanksgiving and Black Friday, we do Peanuts Thanksgiving and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, right? Because those are like our Thanksgiving movies.
Right, of course.
Normally, we don't start Christmas until after that weekend is when
Right.
we do it. But because of this, everything, I was like, fuck it, we're going full bore. So actually, Mixed Nuts was the first movie I threw in
Mixed
at like
Nuts.
9 this morning because I was like starting to hit into like the dark side. I was like, yeah, that
I cracked
actually
the
worked out
beer at
great.
9 this morning.
Did you start putting up decorations?
Yeah. My daughter and I started making a paper
Okay.
chain, a red and
Uh-huh.
green paper chain, and we're doing garland. Well, we started pulling down all the Halloween shit, and I
Yeah.
brought the Christmas stuff up from the basement, but I haven't actually put the Christmas stuff up yet. We were more in the movies.
No, that's good. No, I think that, I don't know why, but it just feels like this year I'm getting the stuff out this weekend actually to start putting it, which is I usually do it right around
After
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, yeah.
Yeah, right around that time, usually that weekend. But I was like, also because of daylight savings and it gets dark so early, I like having the lights in that room like on because it gives it a little bit more like atmosphere and not so dark with like. So I'm like, I'm just gonna do it this weekend and say fuck it. Like,
Tree
it makes me feel good.
Tree is such a pain in the ass. I knew people who do it like the week before, and I'm like, dude, you do that shit for a week? I leave it up till the 12th night when Carnival starts. I'm like 12 nights after
February. You're like, I'm leaving it up to. I did that last year. I left it up all the way past the Super Bowl. Like usually I take it down week 2 of the playoffs. That's usually my time to take it down. Is like that second weekend of football playoffs. But last year I left it up past the Super Bowl and shit. I was like, all right, I gotta get this thing down.
My granddad called it Little Christmas, which is the 12th night when Carnival starts. It's when the Magi reach Jesus in the lore of Christianity.
Yeah,
and
my mother-in-law does that too.
And that's when Carnival starts, and then Carnival goes until Fat Tuesday, which is before Ash Wednesday, and Ash Wednesday is 40 days before the first
Easter.
moon in May or April or something like that.
Yep.
And there's your lesson in Roman Catholicism, as I know it.
I don't think I'm gonna put the tree up this year though, because where it usually goes, I have the arcade game set up now in that corner, and I don't feel like moving it. And I'm like, it's just too big of a hassle. Like, we'll do everything else, and the tree can come back next year.
My cat last year got into the tree, and I'm just he's older now. Dude, last night I look over and he's starting to pee in the corner. I was like, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
Where's the litter box?
I'm gonna have to cut his balls off, and I just feel so bad. I'm like,
well, yeah, you need to do that. But where's his litter box at? Don't they go in like the litter box?
I don't know what I think he was marking his territory. I think he was spraying, not peeing as much. And I interrupted him. He like looked me in the eye. He's like, yeah, I shouldn't be doing this, but I'm doing it.
It's like, but I got business to take care of here, pal.
Todd, I'm gonna go back real quick because I don't want to lose it. He mentioned the podcast. We've actually been planning and discussing this for about a year now, but we're wooks. So the tentative plan now is for the New Year's run to have it set up by then. Maybe earlier, but I hesitate to commit to anything too early. But yes,
all you got to do is give me a credit card number. Baby, that's all I need.
I will figure it out.
It'll happen.
It'll
We've always
happen.
talked about it. But our big thing is we've always said we're not a podcast. Whenever everyone's like, oh, you guys ever listen to Wook Plus podcast?
And white guys doing podcasts is not a good look these days.
No.
Well, everyone's got one or
Well,
two.
no, but for the first like 3 years, we did bits and video production every single episode, and then it was like purposeful to say not a
It
podcast.
wasn't right.
But the
It
last
wouldn't
2 years, it's
translate it.
literally just us podcasting, so it's kind of hard to be like we're not a podcast.
I have not been able to catch the 2001 thing, Dirty. I get it might be on Nugs, but I'm not on Nugs, and no one has sent me a link and said, "Hey, here's the recording of it." But I do want to hear it because from what I hear, it was basically a 1-song second set while they watched the whole movie or something like that.
Oh, two things. Are we talking about Low yet? Are we not?
Oh, yeah, you might as well plug that since that popped up. Yeah,
Kev?
next week, Kev.
Oh,
Who's that
next
guy?
week, yeah. Lo Faber will be on with us next week doing what Mark from the Disco Biscuits did a few weeks back. We had
He'll be a
Scott Mark
guest host.
on. Yeah, be a guest host. So we're going to do it around the horn like we normally do and get Lowe's takes on what's going on.
And let me just say, it's not too late for God Street Wine to blow up like fish. They're having a resurgence and they're coming back. And our main man, Matt Bush, is at the helm. So who knows what's going to happen?
Who
with
knows,
them.
right? Who knows? That's right.
Yeah,
Matt is
and
back.
Todd, the whole thing with HF Pod, that was kind of where we had a delineation. Was in the beginning we were doing a lot more video production, but I agree, it was kind of more.
And you should go back.
Direction.
Some episodes to watch. My birthday episode, if you watch the first minute with Eddie Spaghetti, it's classic because he throws an AARP out to me. The 4th episode, the film noir episode,
It's still
fantastic.
classic.
You
know
probably
what we could
caught a
do?
little bit of the Blair Wook project, which we dropped a little bit of on Halloween. Whole
You know what we should
episode.
do,
Who
Kev?
killed everyone? They thought it was me. They really thought it was
No
me.
one thought it was you. Kev, you know what
But
we
it was-
should do?
What?
Since we're doing like a feel good, chill thing, why don't we go? I'll pull up. Let's go and take a look back at the first Wook Plus Live. You want to see what it looks
Yeah,
or do you want to go back to the
let's-
first lot? How far back do you want to go?
No,
No,
let's
the
go back
first
to the
lot
first
was
live.
is a mess. Like, although the one lots where we had like the full screen and we had every box filled and everyone was just like on there, that was fun. Those were fun.
27 people. No, get
And
back
everyone's
to the
just
first
shit
live.
faced because it ran for like 3 hours, and after hour 1, everyone's just shit faced and hammered. Those were the days, and we were all stuck
Those were the
inside.
days.
Man, we dominated COVID.
So
was
while
some
he's
fun
looking
shit.
for this, my neighbor has a rose bush that is still producing yellow roses, and I go out and look at it every morning, and I'm like, there's hope in the world. There's some truth out there still.
Isn't there though? If it's still producing roses in November, I think that's showing you that climate change is real and
We're
there is no
fucked.
hope in the
We're
world.
completely fucked, but it's a
Right?
beautiful
Like,
thing.
oh, it's so beautiful as we're dying of the climate changing. And I want
Mommy,
to throw
what happened?
Slavy a quick thing before you put that up. To make sure to hit the Taper's Choice Micro Tour in January. It'll be East Coast, 2 shows in New York, 1 show in Philly, 1 show in DC, and then back to LA and San Francisco, Berkeley, and then 2 shows in Colorado, Denver and Boulder. So get on the road,
Wow.
come see me. I'll be there. Probably selling
Todd,
merch.
Todd, I did not go to Billy for Halloween like an asshole. No one came and picked me up.
Oh, poor Kev. Nobody picked him up.
Well, you know what? I'm going to die.
I know you don't drive.
I'm going to die on this hill that I at least did my part by not driving because it's 5 years to the day was Halloween since I had a car.
5 years.
What did
Yeah.
happen on that Halloween that made you decide not to have a car?
The lease was up. I had to give the car back,
Oh.
and then I was going to buy a
I
car, and
thought
my
he was
mom.
completely spun out and had a near-death experience.
No,
But
No.
I was going to buy a car, and my mom lived around the corner, and she's like, "Use my car, save up some money, buy a car straight out, quit leasing." By March of the next year, it was COVID. I couldn't
Mhm.
drive for fucking months.
So it didn't
anyway.
matter. Yeah.
It never happened again. I
we
I was
had
like,
a
I
lot
could
of
walk.
lives.
a lot of live.
Oh, season 4 premiere. I forgot we did seasons.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
That
we
was the whole
did
thing because then we'd
seasons.
take breaks, and like that's why
Yeah.
we'd be able to take a break. Oh,
we
yeah,
had
Taper's
a
Choice
Super
show.
Dad
There was a full Taper's Choice one up there. That was cool.
live from fan art.
Right
God,
there, one more. Go, wait,
What do you want me to do?
keep going down.
Up?
Go.
Down?
Yeah, that up, the way you were just going. Right
this
there. That one. Oh, we had a commercial in there too. What was that for?
It was
Natalie-
probably a Taper's Choice song.
Natalie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It was Lilac Ruse or whatever. That
Palace.
song
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
I want to go
Yeah, we
further
got to
back,
scroll
though.
through 700 plus videos. That's right.
Season 2, episode 6.
You know, Savvy, that live from Union Pool was our first ever live webcast. We like ran that live on the channel live. Our first webcast. That was a lot of
Was it?
fun. Yeah,
What?
our first live show. Well, other than the one we ran for Tim, but I don't know
Deer
if we really
Creek.
count
What
that
about
one.
Deer Creek from the lot in 21?
Oh, here's the first one, the debut.
There
Is
you
that the
go.
one
All
we're
right,
going
let's
through?
watch it. Let's do it.
Wait,
Click
I
it.
don't know if the audio is sharing, though. Is that, can you hear it?
No.
No, crank
Fuck.
it. You turn it up. I don't hear it.
You got to click the
I have to
button that says
represent it.
do do do
Your
do
audio
do do
sharing
do
app or
do
screen.
dun 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 dun. Do, do.
Oh, wait.
Nope.
I figured it out, guys.
All
Oh,
right,
good.
we have a winner, or we have a wiener.
Did that work?
No. There's like a little checkbox. You got to
Oh,
check.
yeah, I see it.
I'm gonna
I
share
missed the
audio.
countdown timer too. There it
Oh,
is.
we're getting pop. We're getting pop. Talk over it. Talk over it.
Talk over the
That's
huck over.
fine, dude.
There it goes.
No, but Llama
It plays
needs
it for
to,
me.
Llama needs
Oh, look at us.
pitch.
Look at Tim's room. That's the room.
That's what makes it meta.
Oh, okay, all right. Let's start from the top.
Jesus Christ, guys.
Start from the top. All right.
All right. So hold on.
Okay.
Wait. We gotta like a take two.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Oh yeah, that was when we did cold opens.
Look at this intro.
I still have those pants.
I don't care. I love it.
We can bring this back. We got to edit it down.
Llama. Headbands. Oh man.
Oh, that video was great. Oh.
So we mocked them for doing the Osiris one. A dumpster fire.
Welcome everybody to Wook
All
Plus
right.
Live, our new weekly
Our new weekly show.
show. Look at the
Years
fucking
later, here we
basement.
are. God help us.
That
That's
was
so
worth it.
fantastic. That was great. Oh my
That
god.
was it. That was
so much
it.
work. We put in
I know
so
what I'm
much work.
doing now. My recovery is no longer Meg Ryan movies and Christmas movies. I'm just gonna go watch old episodes of Wook Plus.
Yeah, if you know what, if you become a member, we're gonna drop me singing Richard Cleese's Christmas in Las Vegas, and that will
Are
be
we
for
doing that?
members only. Yes, that will be for members only.
Oh, good.
Yes, that does sound like a good plan.
There's some
Cleese.
classics back there, Tim. If you go through that and like find some stuff we totally probably
So much
forgotten
good
about.
stuff. So much good stuff.
All right, trivia question, T. Who was our first guest on the
Ugh.
first episode
Oh, I know
of
this.
Wook Plus Live?
Of
I know
Liv.
you know, Kev. That's why I'm asking.
Liv, I don't remember. I do remember the first episode a lot.
I'll throw you a clue. Can I throw you a clue?
Sure.
Tim's wife said that this should be our first guest.
Harley.
Yes. All right, now here's a harder one. Who is the second?
Oh, geez.
Same episode that we had, because back then we used to have multiple guests on
Right.
a show.
Right. That I don't know. I don't remember. I
Hair,
remember
hair.
No, that was for Lot.
Oh, that
right.
was for the
See,
lot.
the lot. You get them confused. See, that's the problem. Because I think Memo
Hair would
and
be Andy. Hair would be
You're not
Andy
gonna
from
get
Pep
it, but
Radio.
it's a really interesting guest. It was Chris Weaver from NFL Film.
Oh, Chris Weaver. That was fantastic.
we talked to Omaha Productions.
Omaha Productions talking about
Nice.
Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning. Yeah.
God,
Yeah, see,
that's
that was
crazy.
that was a great fucking show, man. And we had a bit last trivia. Do you remember what the
No.
live bit in the middle was? It was
No.
Wook Court.
There you go, Kev. You're Wook Court.
Wook Court and Adopt a Wook were
Wook
all in that
Court.
episode. Crazy shit.
Man, it's funny because
and
every
then we
episode had at least one guest, probably
Three
like
bits, probably.
one or two commercials that we did, fake commercials, and then like maybe sometimes, and then we got into themes, like an overall theme where we would like have interstitials of
Live
themes
bits
that would.
though. So the like porn wooks that Llama and Chad and I did live, and before we're like 30 seconds away from the punchline, and Tim stops it. He just cuts us all off.
I remember that.
Yeah, it wasn't working, dude. Go back and watch it. You I was on.
I remember that.
You should have gave us the 30 seconds though, and let us at least get to the punchline.
I mean, our two best things I think we ever did, we can agree on, were the Noir episode and Moon Cabin. Moon Cabin is still my favorite. And then as an add-on, Heads in Space was still phenomenal. Heads in Space is still one of my
Heads in
favorites.
Space is my favorite all-time bit. I don't know which iteration of it, but
that was a good thing. It kept changing. Like we kept updating it and doing Heads in
The Inside Outs episode that Llama came up with was fantastic.
That was fun.
When we were each an emotion, and had like we were blue and green.
The murder mystery was fun.
Yes.
That was fun. And then game nights. Game nights were always fun. Remember, like even when we did like the St. Patrick's Day one and the boys versus girls, those were fun. Like we had a lot of good ones. The couples game night that we all did.
Yeah,
game nights were fun.
Yeah, that was good times. Well, that's how we got. See, and you know what? This is an appropriate conversation because this point of this episode was kind of like bring the community together and kind of have like a chill.
That's the cup. Yes, God, that's still hard.
And that's what the whole channel and the whole thing started as, was helping each other get through fucked up times, right? With the pandemic and everything. And like, that's where the best shit came from. So.
Well, and that's where we met. Like, I mean, Harley still talks about that. She was like, you guys like saved me from the pandemic and now you're some of my best friends. And like, yeah, we totally had this bond with people because even though we couldn't see each other, like we'd have them on and interview them and get to know them. I mean, geez, man, like Tom Marshall and OT, like we had some big guests on there that, you know, normally you wouldn't really be able to nail down.
I was so hammered the night O'Teal came on. I was
every time
slurring my words, and I'm like, if that
like,
guy, if he
like,
ever sees me again, he's gonna be like, that guy,
like every show. Yeah, remember when we used to switch the flip?
Well, I was gonna say the rest of us would switch the flip, and Kev would just come in.
Come in switched. I remember the one that I had to go to the dentist and I got that tooth pulled and I came back all on Vicodin and started drinking and I was wasted like 10 minutes in the show and your brother was like, oh man, you can see right here when Travis just goes down.
And that one Christmas party when you got naked.
Yeah,
that was a fun one. That was fun. I had the office Christmas party getting naked. God, we should do another office Christmas party.
We will have an office Christmas party.
I think we'll do
year.
One this year.
We're gonna do members only. If you want to become a member.
Wait, for the office party? Kev's just
if you become a member, we're gonna do
shit again.
Well, no, I thought the Thanksgiving was either going to be only on Discord,
yes,
or
members only.
What it was?
Something like that. Yeah.
I thought you were talking about Christmas.
No, but we should do the office party. That's always fun.
Did we do a game night with HF Pod recently? We did one. Right?
Oh, not like a year or two ago.
Yeah. That was fun.
Another one. Get them back on. We'll drag Llama out of retirement to be the host.
That was a tough one. Did we do
three of us against the three of them?
Didn't we do like fish trivia though, or something, and with Brinkman or whatever, and he just crushed everybody?
Well, no, not Brinkman. We're gonna have RJ, Megan, and JM one. Brinkman's
Yep.
not invited.
Yeah, he's too smart. He's too...
Just because you don't want to lose.
Yeah, exactly. No offense to the other ones, but that guy's like another level when it comes to like fish
He
trivia.
is. You're like Bathtub Jenny's.
It
Like
doesn't make sense for us to go up against them though, because that's their thing.
Yeah.
maybe
Right?
we
Like-
can get this. Maybe we can do it with one of us be host, and then we get Stub Me Down guys on. And
There we
yeah,
go.
you two can go up
They're
against the
more
Stub
our
Me Down guys.
speed. Like
Right.
if we were
And-
doing a wook trivia, like lot trivia, I feel like we would hold our own very well. But like if it's
Subaru, the number
like
one
naming
object
fish
thrown on
dates
the
and
lot.
shit,
Yeah.
Number one
Yeah.
object thrown on the lot.
But if
is
you,
a
to your
Subaru.
point, Tim, yes, if we start doing fish trivia, those guys do knock it out of the park with because they do all the show re-listens and all that stuff. We definitely.
it's like name three ingredients in a goo ball. It's like we're good. But if it's named the first 3 songs played at
Right.
whatever,
Right.
yeah, I have
you
no
like,
idea.
Do you like Brazilian music?
I didn't read it. You guys told me to read it.
So real quick, we'll just talk about if anybody hasn't read the old Quincy Jones article that was on Vulture, I believe, from
Vulture,
a while
yes,
ago.
It was Vulture.
It
Good for
is a-
them. They nailed that.
It is a gold mine of insane. It's a great interview. I mean, it is a brilliant interview, but man, he goes off on. Does not like the Beatles. Did not like the Beatles. Michael Jackson was a
Paul
hack.
McCartney's bass playing was weak, and the Ringo Starr story of them saying, "Go grab a beer, get something to eat, come back and try it again," and they brought somebody else in to do it, played it for him. He's like, "Sounds good." He's like, "Yeah, motherfucker, it wasn't you."
It's so funny. The whole Marlon Brando thing. Like I knew Brando was an animal, but he like
He was
banging-
a sexual
was
dynamo.
a sexual
That guy.
deviant.
That guy.
Like
Oh my
bang
God.
Richard Pryor and stuff. And what's so funny is Quincy will go off and like start talking about these things and be like, I
The
shouldn't be
most
talking
charming
about this.
motherfucker you ever met.
But then he'll be like, I shouldn't be talking about this. Say, you like Brazilian music? Like, and just try and change the subject all of a sudden. Kind of like what Tim does when Kevin and I go off the rails and Tim just tries to like bring us back in.
He dated
I will
a
zone
Volvo.
out for like 10 minutes, and then at some point, without any on ramp, my brain will be like, all right, time to come back in, and be like, so.
And by that time, Kevin and I are so far out in outer space talking about some shit. And you're like, what? All right, come back, guys.
I am a little ADD to begin with, and you guys get real deep into it. So that combination is like, I've looked back at those episodes. You can see my eyes glaze a little. Not that it's not interesting. It's just, I'm off on my own thoughts and shit.
Right.
Usually
right,
catching
right.
up on chat. I'm like reading, trying to see what everybody's saying. I appreciate the guest
He
memberships.
he insinuated that Frank Sinatra was involved in Kennedy's assassination.
He did. Yes. Oh yeah, fully. Like because yeah, it's complete. I mean, if you don't, maybe we'll link it in the bottom too with the CSN and Y thing in the description on the YouTube thing because it's worth the read. Seriously, like it is phenomenal. Like it
Much
is.
as U2's new work. He's like, I love Bono. He's my brother, but their new shit.
He's like, I always stay at Bono's when I go out there and everything. And he's like, so what do you think of their music? And he's just like, next question.
And the best thing is
That's
they
a tough
said
loss.
they bet
It
they
is.
asked him if anything in any of his projects should have been bigger, and he goes, "What the fuck are you talking about? I've never had that problem."
I mean, just think about that guy's life and career and history, though. I mean,
Ray Charles, when Ray Charles was a kid, he was hanging out with.
I mean,
him.
he was involved with everything though, like everything that it's crazy. It's just, it's out. And I mean, he knows so much shit. Like to that point, he's almost like an FBI file in himself. Like, I mean, are there aliens? Yes, there are. Like, I've actually worked with one. Like, it's just crazy to like fucking hear him talk. It's just phenomenal. And he's not really filtered. Like he tells it to you, which you rarely get. So really cool.
I think
really
as
good
people
article.
get older, they do that. I talked to Stanley Jordan, and I was like, so I mentioned something about jazz critics not liking what he did. He's like, I'm going to come back on, and we're going to spend a whole hour talking about that. And I was like, anytime, man. Doors wide open.
You're like, bring it. Let's do it.
It's been a tough couple of weeks with people dying. I
Yeah.
talked to somebody today, by the way, talking
Terry
about
Garr. Terry Garr, I wanted to do her when I was
Have
a
you didn't
little
have to
kid.
yell at me, man. You could have just
Oh,
thrown that
I'm
in there
sorry,
nice and gently and all like Jesus
I
Christ.
didn't
You're like,
mean
Terry
to.
Garr! Ah!
Terry fucking Garr.
Motherfucker.
No, but I wanted to give a shout out to Bob, the bass player, because he is a true head. I talked to him and I was like, how you feeling? Meaning like, the election, like the fall of, the rise of fascism stuff. He's like, I still miss him, but I'm starting to get over it. I've been listening to, I was like, he's talking about Phil still. Like that's what's front of his mind. I'm like, how you doing? He's still thinking about Phil.
It's fucked up, man. I've been listening to Unbroken Chain every day. I've been through every live version.
I'm like, that's what I want to aspire to. It's not even to worry about any of the other shit. Just be like so in your zone.
I pick an album every day, and in the morning, the first thing I listen to is an album I've never heard before, and I get 365 new albums in a year. And I hate most of it, but I work through it.
Are you gonna do that?
I do it all the time. I'm doing it. You know what my thing is next year?
What do you do? I don't understand. What are you talking about? What do you do?
I like read reviews of albums and list of the best albums released the past week, and I find something that's like grunge metal, and I'll pick that album that morning, and I'll listen to the 45 minutes.
You listen to a different album every single
morning,
and you never talk about it.
I never talk about it. I'm just trying to. Well, I do talk about it somewhere else because I invite the people I like to come on and talk to me.
Right. Oh, right. That's your right. Yeah.
That's my.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna start a Meg Ryan podcast. So whatever. I just gotta find a co-host.
Find a female, because 2 white guys talking about Meg Ryan. Here it is.
That should be a passion project with my wife. That'd be fun.
There you go.
Nobody will listen to it, but it'll be fun.
No, you saw the husband-wife thing. You can call it when Wook met Christina.
Right.
What's your favorite? What's your favorite Meg Ryan movie?
Oh,
wait, what'd you say?
What's your favorite Meg Ryan movie?
Probably When Harry Met Sally, but I like French Kiss. I like Sleepless in Seattle. I like You've Got Mail. I like IQ.
You've Got Mail. That's probably my favorite.
Yeah.
Is that the one with the top of the place in New York? The top of the Empire State Building?
Which one was that? Seattle.
That's the one I like. That one's cool.
I'm gonna give you my 3 favorites. I loved her in The Doors. I loved her in Inner Space. And I loved her in Top Gun.
The Doors.
Okay, but that's talking about her as an actress, not a Meg Ryan movie. Like a Meg Ryan movie is a very specific genre of rom-com. And like
The Doors is definitely a Val Kilmer movie. It's
right.
The Presidio is great too, which came out right before.
And there's Grateful Dead references in that one.
Yeah.
Remember when he walks into the office and he's like, "Oh, you like the Grateful Dead?" Because there's a poster on the wall.
And the chick sitting at the table is a deadhead. At the reception girl is a deadhead, and he plays off Sean Connery as like his square dad or whatever. And she's like, "Hey, man."
I agree, Ja. The Joe versus the Volcano is definitely in there. I think like there's 2 different ways of rating them too. Is her performance, but then also her counterpoint. I like When Harry Met Sally because I think Bill Crystal's like counter to her is that is perfect, right? I think like Tom Hanks and You've Got Mail is also really good.
He rubs me the wrong way for some reason.
And well, but that's the thing though. All of his other roles, it's not that I can't stand it, but like I'm not like, oh my god, he's a great actor. But that specific, like sarcastic, like guy friend
City Slickers is pretty damn good though. Like City Slickers is good.
I mean, I like him, but like that, I think that's probably his best. This is such a weird podcast. How we got here?
It's great. I love it. Like talking movies is like one of my favorite things to talk about. So it's great. But yeah,
no, he's good.
Ones.
Is Meg Ryan still alive?
She is.
I want to look her up and see what she looks like now.
She's a little scary. She's had a little bit of work done. She's 62 years old.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to be fair, right? Like, she's.
Yeah, I mean,
let me tell you something.
I see what you mean.
Right? She's not the cute, like she used to be so cute and beautiful and like whatever. Now she's a little aged with a little bit of work,
back in 2000, 2005, I used to watch the Bernie Mac show. Every time it came on, I always tuned into the Bernie Mac show because of Galita Smith, his wife in it, right? At that time, she was a couple years older than me, right? The other day I looked her up on the Google and
on the Google. Jesus Christ, Kev, how old are you?
On the internet.
I looked her up on the Google machine.
And I was like, God damn, she looks so good. And she's like 3 years older than me. And I'm like, how do I run into her? And they're like, she lives in Chicago. I'm like, maybe I'll go to Chicago and
That's called stalking. You should go to the Google and look up stalking.
Look, how do I stalk this actress? Now, I mean, I will say too, remember when her and Dennis Quaid were such a good couple? They were married for like 10 years. 91,
we're back to Meg Ryan, everyone.
And yes, well, we're back to Meg Ryan. And they had, what's his name? Jack Quaid.
Jack Quaid.
Got his own little good thing going on these days.
He's good, man. That that show, The Boys or whatever.
He is good in that. And he was good in the that Scorsese one, the record. What was it? The where they did the record label or whatever on HBO. It didn't last, but
thank you, Dave.
That one was great too.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember what it's called.
I can't remember what it was called. I know.
Yeah.
Dave wants to help me stalk.
Good, you can take down 2 people with your stalking.
It's like it's really easy. Just go on to Google, you look for their address.
It's right there.
Right there.
No, I watched this interview with her and she was like, yeah, I don't believe in relationships. You know, you hang out for a while.
Vinyl. Duh, it was called Vinyl, Tim. It was actually called Vinyl.
Right. Yes. Yeah. That's your type of lady, man.
Oh my God, she's perfect. I would totally die for that.
Sounds like it.
I thought you had a thing for Rosario Dawson.
I have a thing for her too. My God. God help me. I even become Catholic again.
Yeah. You know, she's in the 2 highest grossing movies. Is that right? Did I make that up?
She was so great in the Netflix Marvel stuff.
She was in Avatar and Avengers, right? Like they're like the 2 highest grossing movies of all time. Like she's the most through the most of the highest grossing movies. I forget how they worded it, but like it's like a weird attribute that's solely hers, right?
No. And my trifecta would be Debbie Harry.
Debbie Harry?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
She still looks good. And
she does still look good.
She's at least 12, 13 years older than me.
Who's the
She's a cougar.
She does still look good though, I will say. Like she looks better than Meg Ryan because she hasn't had like work done and shit. She looks good.
My God.
Who's the Aunt May and the
Marissa Tomei.
Oh, that's
Marissa Tomei.
Is another one that's aged wonderfully.
Yeah, that's mine for sure.
The 2 Utes. Yes,
God, she is so good in that. She is just so perfect in that movie.
She's really good in that one.
Yeah, she's awesome. And young Meg Ryan
in Spider-Man too. She was really good as Aunt May in those too.
Yeah.
They're coming out with a new Spider-Man.
The problem is I'm old, right? And you know,
what gave that away? Was it the Google?
A woman who's 30 years old is like almost half my age at this point.
You know what's all right? I don't. This is too much information for the interwebs to share with things. My taste in women, and like obviously I'm loyal to my wife, and like it's nothing that, but like it has grown with me in a way that I never knew it would when you're a kid, right? Like when you're like a kid and you look at like a 40-year-old and like a 40-year-old woman, and you're like, oh, they look so old. But like now that I'm at that age, 40 looks young. Old. Like 40 looks young to me, and like 20 looks like kid. And it's weird how it like
changes like that. Yeah,
like
totally.
I don't know why. Like it's like it dawned on me, but you're like, oh, you look somebody up, and you're like, what's she like 25 or something? You're like, oh, she's 42, and you're like, oh shit, my age is completely off.
So I can't believe Debbie Harry is 79. Wow, she looks great for 79, and like that's crazy. Because did you see?
That's a quarter century. Wow.
Did you see the Joni Mitchell tribute they
The
did,
Matrix.
at the Hollywood Bowl recently, and Joni is, like she looks old, like she's gotten old. She's got her cane, and like she still sounds great. And
Debbie Harry went and toured last year.
I
and the year
know Debbie
before.
Harry looks
Blondie did.
phenomenal for that, and even also Joan Baez. She was just on.
God, I can't stand her.
What's her name was just up in San Francisco touring. Alex just went and saw her at the Forum the other night. I can't think of the artist's name.
Man,
but
that had to be painful.
Joan Baez came out
What,
and
like
fucking
2 hours of Joan Baez? My
no,
God.
it was she came out during this other one, like oh God, what's her name? I can't think of who she just played the Forum, and then she played San Francisco the night before. And in her San Francisco show, Joan Baez got on stage and was like dancing, and she looks amazing. Like I was like, holy shit, look at like
Not
Joan
on
Baez.
stage and just dance. She didn't sing or anything.
I don't know if she took the mic. The clip was from the Sleeping Llama guy, who's like a big fish guy on Instagram, and he posted the videos of it. And so I was watching his like reels from it, and I was like, oh damn, like she looks a lot better than Joni Mitchell does right now, like for being like around the same age. So it was really cool.
That's great.
Like I love seeing
that.
people because like my dad's 79 and he is not in the same condition as Debbie Harry. Let me tell you, like he's like looks 79.
1985, JFK Stadium, Amnesty International does their show, right? And they have U2 play, all the big names, but they have the Neville Brothers play, right? And the Neville Brothers have Joan Baez come out and do a song with them. And they do Shout by Tears for Fears.
That's weird.
Look it up on YouTube. It's so bizarre. It is like the most bizarre thing you'll see.
That's
I love Kev's reaction to his story.
Dude, Joan Baez is 83. Okay, like, and
God.
She looks fantastic and still like jams and sings and dances.
Harry?
Well.
How old is Debbie
79.
Harry? So she's only 4 years older, but Debbie Harry didn't get big until 74, 75 with the anti-disco song, and then she joined Blondie.
And Joni Mitchell is 80. And so, I mean, all three of them. It's crazy to see the difference.
Debbie Harry is 1 year younger than Joni Mitchell. Debbie Harry was so hot in 75, and Joni Mitchell looked like she was your mom.
Susanna Hoffs is still beautiful. Like she still posts a ton of shit on the socials and is phenomenal.
Looking it up.
Phenomenal.
Looking it up. Wait, where'd it go?
Like I think
Patti Smith. Oh, Patti Smith is younger than Debbie Harry. All right, you guys are blowing my mind right now. I
know.
Didn't realize this timeline at all.
It's crazy though. Like speaking of like that thing that you were saying, Tim. Like Susanna Hoffs looks so good when she was like in her 20s, right? I mean, just like the cutest, hottest singer.
And now pretty good right now.
And now you look. Well, that's what I'm saying. And now you look at her now, and she's what 65, and she looks amazing at 65. You're like, holy crap! Like both eras of this woman are phenomenal.
And just I know we were talking about like attraction, but it's also like this weird phenomenon just like with actors too, right? Like when I was a kid watching like the teenagers on like the sitcoms, they looked so old. And when I look back at those shows, I still think of them as old. Whereas now if I watch a show with young adults, right, like they still look like kids to me. It's just like that wherever you are in your frame of reference.
Did you watch iCarly
forever?
No, but let's just say, Kev, from our generation, Alyssa Milano on Who's the Boss was
Tatum O'Neal in Bad News Bears.
Oh yeah,
my
Paper
God,
Moon.
I would have laid down in the street for her when I was 9 years old.
Yeah, we had some good ones on sitcoms back in the day. Alyssa Milano was definitely like right in that Susanna
Foster in that twist.
Era.
What was the twisted movie with De Niro? She was hot in that, and she was supposed to be like 13 or something.
What about
Oh, Taxi Driver? Yeah, Taxi Driver. Yeah,
weird.
Travis Bickle.
Oh man.
What about Wonder Years?
You looking at me?
Winnie from Wonder Years, were you guys
Winnie Cooper?
Oh, I watched the Wonder Years. I was older. I
was gonna say like that, and then like later on Topanga. That was like
it was on. I think I caught the reruns mid-afternoon when you pulled a few tubes down and you were just like flipping through the TV and the Wonder Years came on and you're like, oh, that's cool. The guy's doing the I'm talking into the past thing. And
Yeah, Fred Savage. Remember when he narrated
I
the
was
show
younger
for
than her, though.
He went down like a ship of flames, didn't
Sybil
he?
Shepherd? Oh man, Sybil Shepherd in the Last Picture Show. Holy moly!
Sybil
Like
Shepherd
those
in
boobs.
Moonlighting.
Oh, we
Bruce
just watched
Willis.
Moonlighting. I just made Alex watch Moonlighting because it was one of my favorite shows back in the day, and we tore through. And she enjoyed it. She laughed. It's so good. But yeah,
It was
Sybil,
good because it had the relationship and the intra episode every
right,
episode.
right, and the whole like will they, won't they, and the dynamic of them. Like, yeah, it was very, yep.
Best will they, won't they, though, ever is Mulder and Scully. Because in the original set of shows, they never did. They didn't until the movie after. And that was one of the great tensions ever. Because
Were
at
you guys
some point you were
X-File
like,
people?
Huh?
Were you guys
On and
X-File?
off, on and off.
I tried multiple times, never could do it. Like it just wasn't.
I've seen
wasn't
every
my-
X-Files and the
Yeah,
movies. I went and watched when the first movie came out at midnight. And the film broke 20 minutes into it, and they made us come back at 7 in the morning.
That was one I could never. I wanted to. I just never could get.
Dude, Calico Wombat Moonlighting is one of my favorites. I'm so glad they finally put it. You know what's crazy though? It took them forever to get it on streaming because they had to get the rights to all the songs and they had to change so many of the songs inside the episodes because they couldn't get the rights to it. So they had to re-edit that shit. So it took them forever to get. That's why it took forever to get it on streaming, but it's up now. And then, there's Piper. Oh boy, there's Piper going crazy. Mail's here. Mailman's here. And then Last Picture Show, man. Yes, of course. And that's the one movie Peter Bogdanovich obviously directed it and I think that's when they started dating, or right after that, him and Sybil Shepherd started dating. But hot, so hot. So beautiful.
Do you think we can get Lo Faber to rank 70s and 80s TV babes with us next week?
I mean, if you're gonna go into the 70s, you gotta go like Linda Carter, Wonder Woman. Like, come on. Like,
we'll do 80s. We could just stick to the 80s.
I was gonna say, I can be involved in the 80s. If you're doing 70s, I
think you're still doing like Aaron Gray and Buck Rogers. Come on, like these were like the girls that were in your head when you were a little kid, right? Like this was like the fantasy girls. Elizabeth Shue, yes, and she has aged fantastically too. Fantastic.
Are we?
I
don't know if we should get into tier listing women.
Yeah, women.
Like
No, you can't tier list them, but I think throwing them out is a lot of fun. And just remembering them, like just
welcome to the day after,
lobbing them out there.
No,
that's a terrible. Like, let's do a tier list.
Alex's mom from Family Ties, Meredith Baxter Burney. She was great too.
I tell you what, we can tier is we've done it before, but having somebody new insides since Thanksgiving's on the horizon or something.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Do that.
Or
we could also. I also want tying it back to the top of the conversation, doing Christmas movies. I always love that conversation. Plus,
we could do that. We could do a rank. I'll ask him. Would you be more into ranking sides for Thanksgiving or Christmas?
And he'd be like, "What kind of podcast do you guys fucking have?" And I'd be like, "I don't know, man."
And then I'll send him a list
Fascism's on the rise. It's a whole new wild, wild west. Right. We're just going with it.
And we may ask you. We may ask you, what's your favorite one side of an album?
Yeah,
because that worked out so well when we asked about albums with Brownie, and he was like, "Yeah, you're gonna say something cooler than I am."
You know what we could rank are Bond women, because I see like Roger Moore in there. We could rank Bond women because you have some really like even Ringo Starr's wife in there.
You can also just tier Bonds,
Barbara
and that's
Bach.
probably
We could tier
less
Bonds,
scandal.
yeah, true.
We could tier Bonds, yes.
Or Bond movies. I would love to do that.
Or Bond women's names like Pussy Galore and like.
Yeah, I'll ask him.
We can do a whole Bond show, Bond villains, Bond movies, Bond.
We could do a Bond show on Panels and Frames.
Yeah, Bond gear, like cue like fucking devices. That'd be cool.
Be awesome.
Sorry, Ken. Is it annoying when people just talk over you when you're talking?
Yes, it is.
You find it frustrating?
I like Luke Cage. I was gonna say I'll ask him what he likes. Do you like Star Wars, Marvel? Give me a pop culture thing you like, and we will come up with
Barbara Bach. That was Ringo Starr was married.
Not too mainstream though. I feel like just a little off.
Linda Hamilton, Terminator 2, so good.
Yeah, if he says like 1960s sci-fi movies or something, I might be like, dude,
That's probably
a little...
too. All right, so that's too far off. But if he's like, you know, MCU movies, that might be too on, right? Like, I feel like we got to get something that's a little bit
Right.
off, but not too far
Right.
off the beaten path.
Yes.
And
Or
I tell
fuck
you
it,
what,
whatever he wants. I don't give a shit. All right, guys.
no settlers tonight. We
Like and
went way over.
subscribe.
I loved it. It was sort of a freewheeling set tonight. It felt good. Got all over the place.
We love all of you. Everybody watching. We love you. We really do.
Stay strong, everybody.
Let's
Stay
start
strong.
this.
We got this.
You got this.
We were jamming type too. I like it. Yes, we were. A little off the rails, but a lot of fun.
I'll be on Discord tonight.
Yeah, I'll be on Discord tonight. We'll continue this conversation. on
Discord. Let's watch a movie over on Discord.
Join us on
Ken's just
Discord.
like, I gotta be in there and just fucking talk.
We'll keep this conversation going over there. Childhood crushes on TV.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you see Scott Makita ever out at a show, go up to him and be like, Scott Makita, I love seeing you on Wook Plus.
Road.
MC Road.